Okay, Monday, 17 August. We are gonna be working on the gold breakdown for this week. And so far, things are looking good. I think things are looking nice. So, looking at how we came, looking at the DXY here, how we came to where we are now, you could see that ever since we managed to break this zone here, and then retest on it, and then we continue to break this support, turned it into a resistance, which was also playing the part of being the major market structure shift. Okay, we had the smaller one here, but the major one is here, and then we can see a retest on that, confirming or validating that drop. Okay, we can see after tapping on this support here, we have been failing to break it, not just once, but if you look here, we have the second time, and then last week before the closing, the third time there. Okay, but it was good because we see that we found an equal area of resistance just above there, in which we see that we had a bit of a sweep there, which means that that manipulation was all that we need to find ourselves pushing down. Okay, which means that now the only thing that we are gonna be watching on the DXY, it's a break, a retest on this support, and then we are gonna look for a continuous move to the downside. Okay, we are gonna be targeting somewhere around 98 to 97.8 before the end of this week, which means that gold is gonna be pushing up as much as we are gonna be pushing down on the DXY. Okay, so what's good if we are only just looking at the DXY, we don't look at any core correlation data out of that. Okay, so we still have one instrument that we can look into, which is gonna correlate or match the data that we are looking for to find the bias or the direction of gold for this week. Okay, in which in this case we have to go straight and look at the yields. Okay, so looking at the yields, we can see how the yields has been playing. Okay, we did look at here before the NFP. We could see that during the NFP we tapped there and then we end up melting like that. But then if we are to look at how the yields are playing out right now, we can see that we still failed to make a tap on that area there. But if we are looking on that area as an order block, we managed to tap on that and then we dropped. Okay, but I'm still worried because we are failing to keep below this area here. Okay, but then we also have the same support that we have on the DXY that we have been failing to break below, which once we break below that support, is gonna mean that we have a solid direction, maybe to the downside, that we can look into if we are looking at the yields. Okay, so right now when I look at the yields, guys, this is what I see. They haven't opened yet, but surely I'm still gonna be gunning for a continuous push to the downside, which is gonna end up giving us a nice break, a nice retest, and then a push. Okay, we're gonna see the inflation getting worse on the United States. This is just the beginning. We're gonna see them getting worse, and then we're gonna see the yields also pushing a bit lower than expected. Okay, this area here might tempt with stopping us from going down. As you can see, since the market is going to be pushing down, the other thing which is going to be magnet there is going to be the daily 200 moving average, which they might come and intercept around there, but I don't think it's going to stop us from pushing all the way down. It's most likely to see the yields playing all the way down there to the support of this market. Okay, we can see it going all the way down to that low there, or even lower than that. Okay, so the only thing that we have to do now is to pay a bit of attention to see how the yields are gonna be moving going forward throughout this week. Okay, in which if we get bearish yields, we have the bearish on the DXY as well, then gold is gonna be bullish. Okay, so we don't want it to be a mixed signal, because these are the core correlation instrument that we need to be focused on to know the right direction for gold. As for this week, I'm gonna be focused most likely on this area here, which we are hovering around. I'm gonna treat it as my area of resistance, or the POI. Okay, this is gonna be one of the areas that I'm gonna be watching, and then going forward I'm also gonna be watching this support, which is here, before we can jump into watching this one, which is below here. Okay, so for now we are just going to be watching from here all the way down to this uptrending support here. Once we break, then we're gonna look outside of that structure. For now, let's allow the market to guide us inside the structure. We don't have to make any decisions if the market is not telling us that the bias is gonna be this one. Remember, we don't want a mixed signal. We want to see the DXY going down. We want to see the yields going down to have that full confidence of buying gold and holding gold. Okay, so looking forward, let's go on the gold chart. The gold chart, I did have some pre-analysis last week. We have been looking for buys ever since that low here. We did talk about buys. I do have the charts which we analyzed when the market was still up here going down to this area, that we are going to be looking for buys on this area and then pushing back up. Okay, although even though we end up trading a bit above this area here, I'm still not happy because we couldn't close clean outside of that. I would have been happy if we were able to push slightly above this area here. Okay, just a slight push above that area, it could have made me so much happier to know that now we are trading above an area in which can stop us. Okay, because if we go and look at the smaller time frame to that area that I just put now there, you can find that this is also a market structure shift, which was you can see we pushed up and then we pushed down, pushed up, and then we push down to break that area there. Okay, which means that once you break and retest, that means that you have a support which was turning into a resistance. So if we pay close attention into that area, you will agree with me that around here we do have an area of resistance. Okay, we do have an internal resistance there, which if we go to smaller time frames, you will continue seeing this clearly here to see that we break above, we retested on it, we go back up, and then we dump, break, and then retest and retest there, and then we continue down. Okay, so now that we are reclaiming this area, we want to see the market breaking and holding above that area. Once we manage to break and hold above that area, then it's gonna be given to us that we are gonna be looking to anything above 4,500 to 4,550 for this week. Okay, but if we fail to break and hold above, instead we break and hold below this. Once we start trading below this area here, and the break and the retest of this is gonna mean the break and the retest of this low, we're gonna continue looking for selling opportunities, and then we're gonna target this area here around 4,180 to 4,100 for us to start looking for buying opportunities again. Okay, so that's what I have for you on gold. We're gonna digest more on it when the market moved a little bit. Let's allow the market to move a bit, and then we will see what will happen during the day. But so far, this is what I have on gold for you, and I hope this is an eye-opener for how we're gonna kickstart this week and how we're gonna be approaching the market when we are looking at the gold trades. Remember in mind the core correlation of the DXY and the yields combined. If the DXY and the yields are heading to the same direction and then they are pointing bearish, you are most likely supposed to be focusing on the bullish momentum on gold. But if the DXY and the yields are focused on the bullish momentum, then you are most likely to focus on the bearish momentum on the gold side. Okay, so those are some of the things that you can try to focus on. The other thing, you can look at the COT data and how the future traders are reacting when we look at our precious metal, and that will give you more insight on how to approach gold for this week. I hope this video was helpful. I will see you on another one in which the market will have printed those prices that we want to see, and then with those price action we can then determine where we want to see this market pushing forward for this week. Okay, but as you know, what we are looking forward to is to have a break of structure above here, and then after a break of structure above here, we are gonna be looking for something like here. Okay, that's what we are gonna be looking forward into. And as you can see, after a resistance being broken and retested on, it becomes a support. So we need to focus on those things. I'm not the one who most likely use break of structures and stuff, but whenever I don't use them, a lot of people seem to be a bit confused, and then they want me to incorporate this so that it makes them it becomes easy for them to understand. So I tried incorporating it on this so that A lot of people might understand a bit better because I understand where a lot of people are coming from, the ICT side. So whenever I upload my videos on YouTube and stuff, I see a lot of you DMing me, sending me emails that you don't get a lot of stuff when I talk about support turning into a resistance, and then we look for confluences and all those other stuff. So yes, a break of structure is a break of structure, but I didn't use that before because for me they were just pivot points that the market is gonna swing back to, which are areas of liquidity or areas where there is more volume or more orders being placed there, and then the market is gonna come back to tap into that before it goes up. Okay, so the order flow of the market is something that we cannot ignore, so we just have to look forward into that. We combine that with the core correlation data that we have, and then we see how the market is going to play out on that. So we're still bullish on the gold side as long as we can break and hold above this area here. Okay, so breaking and holding above 4,406 is something that we want to see, but most likely once we break above 4,440, that's when we are gonna be out of the trap, and then we are gonna be heading up. So I will see you on another video, guys.